Far down from the thunder and rush of the street flow Westbourne and Tyburn and Effra and Fleet, 'neath blue skies and grey skies once freely that ran, lost rivers of London, forgotten of man. Well, I am delighted to have been invited to this launch event for the exciting project to open up Branch Hill Pond, Constable's Pond, on the headwaters of the Westbourne. What I'd like to do is to set the scene. This is a story of a community-led project to map and uncover the watery history of a local area. And it's a look to the future of how nature-based solutions can help neighbourhoods like this to thrive in a changing climate. Let's begin 300 years ago when watercourses like the Fleet and the Westbourne crossed London and clean springs provided drinking water. As populations expanded, like many urban rivers, they gradually became polluted with waste and were swallowed up and hidden by the city. By the 1860s, these open sewers had become so notorious and dangerous to public health that they were covered over. To where Fleet Ditch with disemboguing streams rolls the large tribute of dead dogs to the Thames, the king of dykes, than whom no sluice of mud with deeper sable blots the silver flood. In 1859, work began on London's sewer system, designed by Joseph Bazalgette. The lost rivers became the trunk sewers, and all the drainage and foul waste, along with that clean spring and stream water, is now captured into the high-level, mid-level, and low-level interceptor sewers. Only during storms can the rivers reach the Thames as combined sewer overflows. The bed of these rivers are now not just culverted watercourses, but combined sewers. And all the clean spring and stream water now flows to the wastewater treatment works, where it has to be processed and pumped and treated. Now, while that alleviated the sewage in the Thames stagnating at every high tide, for water companies today, this can be bad news. Clean water entering sewer pipes, often groundwater leaking in through cracks in the pipes, but also these deliberate inflows of springs and watercourses, is estimated to cost the water industry in the UK in the region of £1 million a day. Clean water in sewers robs capacity from the sewer network, and that increases flood risk, and it increases the volume of wastewater needing treatment. So what can we do with these lost urban rivers? Well, there is a growing movement around the world for daylighting. That is, uncovering buried watercourses and restoring them to more natural conditions. This can bring a range of environmental, social, and economic benefits. And where these watercourses have been captured into the sewer system, daylighting can be used to divert clean water away from the sewers. This can bring significant benefits to tackling flood risk. If we look at maps showing the areas of surface water flooding, these usually follow the historical routes of lost rivers. By using nature-based solutions to make space for water, we can not only tackle flood risk, but also enhance the quality of spaces we live in and work in, for wildlife and for people. Green space and blue space in our towns and cities is becoming increasingly important for climate adaptation. And access to green space in our neighbourhoods has real impacts on the quality of people's lives and livelihoods. Indeed, all around the world, from New York to South Korea to Bradford city centre, cities are starting to do just this. And now, here in this part of North London, the work of the Reddington Frognal Neighbourhood Forum has recognised the importance of nature-based solutions within the local plan. Projects around the world are uncovering these lost streams, separating them from the sewer network, and restoring them to towns and cities. These are just a few examples of the innovative ways that cities have managed to find space for water in urban areas, against the odds, bringing wildlife, amenity, flood risk benefits, or just plain curb appeal to neighbourhoods. Now, it's not always possible to fully open up watercourses physically. Not least, we have a legacy of homes and businesses and roads above them. But it is possible to make people aware of them again and culturally reconnect communities to their lost rivers that were so important for shaping the history of the places in which they live and work. From lost river walks in Toronto, to glass panels to view the River Moselle in the Tottenham Library, to sonic daylighting so people, although they can't see the watercourse, can hear it flowing. Bradford has been culturally daylighting its hidden becks for many years, with markers and interactive walks. And this groundswell of community support is finally leading to the first physical uncovering of one of those becks. So cultural daylighting is a key stepping stone to physical restoration in future generations. Well, ultimately, the loss of streams and rivers below ground and into the sewer network has deprived many areas of London from that peace of nature that natural urban watercourses can provide. And restoring this was the motivation of the Reddington Frognal Neighbourhood Forum when they commissioned Arup to undertake mapping of the lost rivers. We looked at the geology, we looked at the terrain, and we modelled the shapes of the hidden valleys and the paths of the water. We looked at historical maps to identify natural springs and streams. Pumps and wells and willow trees also indicate the presence of a high water table. And other sources include books, paintings, street names and place names, all pointing towards clues of the presence of these lost springs and streams in and around this area. Anecdotal local knowledge is also vital, and we've recorded this, such as where springs were known to frequently bubble up into basements or gardens. And all of these watery features have been mapped to find the predicted routes of the original stream network. In the Reddington Frognal neighbourhood, we've identified the headwaters of the lost River Westbourne, the Tyburn, and the River Fleet. And of course, the natural spring that fed the Westbourne, immortalised in Constable's paintings, formed a pond at Branch Hill. The opportunity to restore this pond is a key moment for the recognition of the value of nature-based solutions in enhancing our neighbourhoods. Uncovering the ceremonial headwaters of the lost River Westbourne marks both a physical restoration of part of the hydrology and habitat in this part of London, providing space for wildlife and people to enjoy. But it also culturally daylights the presence of these lost rivers, making the public aware once more of the value of nature and blue spaces within neighbourhoods, and reinforces that forgotten link between Frognal and every neighbourhood through which the Westbourne flows. Kilburn, Serpentine, Pimlico, all the way down to the Thames. Thank you very much.